So the question that I get most often is, how large can I print my image? Well, the easiest way to figure this out is to have your image open and go to Image and then Image Size. In the Image Size dialog box, we can see this is almost a 40 meg file, and I'm going to change my dimensions to pixels so that we can see exactly how many pixels are in the image. And then I'm going to make sure that my width and height are set to inches. So if we wanted to print this image 9 by 6, let's uncheck the resample option, and then for width, we'll enter in 9. And sure enough, we can see that if we change the width to 9 and the height to 6, our resolution is still up around 470, which is plenty of information if we're printing to our inkjet printer, and probably more than enough information if you're printing to a medium to even high line screen for the printing press. But what if I wanted to print my image a little bit larger? Let's go ahead and set this to 18 inches by 12 inches. Well, now we can see that the resolution has dropped down quite significantly. We're down to about 234 pixels per inch. Now, this might be enough resolution for a decent print, but what I would do is definitely check on the resample option at this point, and then I would resize this to 300 pixels per inch. Then if we change our dimensions to percent, we can get a good look at exactly the percentage that we're having to upsample the image. So 128%, I wouldn't actually be too worried about that. I think we could print this no problem, 18 by 12, especially because of the preserve detail algorithm that Photoshop has in it. It's really going to try to keep our image edges looking sharp, so we don't lose a lot of information, so the print doesn't look soft. So I'd be perfectly okay with resizing to this size. Now, if we're going to have to print a poster size image, say for example, I'll take this to 30 by 20 inches at 300 pixels per inch, then we're talking about an increase in percentage of 213%. And that's quite a bit of information to have Photoshop make up. Of course, at this point, you've already taken the photograph and you're working with all of the information that you have. So really, the only solution you have is to resample the image. That's why it's such a good idea to know what the final destination will be for your image before you start creating it. That way you can capture as much information as you need. But of course, we know that this isn't always possible, and that's why we have Photoshop and the image size dialog box. So when needed, you can actually upsample or resize your image larger.